Sam, it's Hartman. Be advised that chiral density in regions predisposed to strandings has increased dramatically. No doubt the beach is to blame. BTs drawn into our world under these circumstances may be affected in unpredictable ways.
Sam, do you copy? I've been looking into Clifford and wanted to share my thoughts. To recap, Unger was a U.S. Special Forces operative whose retirement roughly coincided with the death Stranding. After he left the service, he somehow became involved in the early BB experiments. However, he died before they ended. Now, while the circumstances surrounding his death are not entirely clear, I'm beginning to suspect that these battlefields of his are at least partially sustained by his enduring emotional attachments. Anger, resentment, regret. I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with the BB experiments. That much seems clear given his repeated attempts to steal loot. Cliff seems to be driven by a compulsion to reclaim our BB, as if that will make him whole again. A compulsion so powerful that he was not only able to drag himself from the depths of hell, but bring a piece of that hell along with him. One thing's for sure, he is nothing like a BT. We need to know the whole story about his death and his connection to the BB experiments. I'll keep digging and let you know what I find, Sam.
Shit, BT. Can't pin this on Higgs. What the hell's going on?
Bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until departure. Decontaminating soon. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Sam, you're not going to believe what I found. It's about the BP experiments, their true purpose. According to official records, they were continued in secret on the order of President Strand, supposedly with the primary objective of developing BT detectors and preventing void-outs. Any advancements that could be applied to the fields of chiral communications and beach research were meant to be of purely secondary benefit. But it turns out, that's just a cover story. The truth is, Sam, BBs were originally conceived as catalysts for the operation of the chiral network. They're integrated into the infrastructure of Knot cities for that very reason. Every single one you've brought into the fold. It was probably Amelie herself who installed them as she moved west with the first expedition, carrying out her mother's grand plan, making sacrifice after sacrifice on the altar of progress. President Strand told the people what they wanted to hear and did what she thought had to be done. Also, America could be whole again. And I'm starting to wonder if it didn't cost her soul. The chiral network is our greatest creation, our proudest achievement, and our guiltiest sin. I don't know how to feel about it all. Maybe if we knew more about Cliff and the BB experiments, we'd be better placed to judge. I'll be in touch.
go.
A final request for pizza. My dear Mr. Sam Bridges, I write to you with tidings somewhat more weighty than those to which you may have grown accustomed. By the time this reaches you, I will have been condemned to the beach, having been rendered powerless by you-know-who. But know that I will forever cherish the memory of each and every pizza you so kindly delivered to my doorstep. Alas, there is a singular blemish upon our relationship, a singular regret that weighs upon my soul. It concerns the one wish you so cruelly failed to grant me. I speak, of course, of my delivery from Lake Knot City to South. I will readily admit I am not one to forgive and forget, and this flaw compels me not to allow you to forget either. Consigning my package to the bottom of a tar lake instead of seeing it to its intended destination was an unconscionable act, hardly befitting a professional porter. For shame, but let us not cry over spilled milk. If you would do me one final favor, I have faith I can find it in my heart to forgive you. You must know in yours what I am about to ask, yes? Pizza, pizza, pizza. This delivery denouement may prove a tad tricky even for an experienced professional, though. The delectable delight in question awaits you at the first prepper's shelter, high atop a snow-capped peak, and must be transported intact thence to my front door. It certainly shan't be easy, but I have the utmost faith in the man who delivers pizza. Furthermore, as an expression of goodwill, I have unlocked the entrance to my private quarters. You may peruse my secrets to your heart's content. I have the honor to be your obedient servant, Higgs Monahan.
Order assigned. Delivery parameters updated. Time limit set. Weapons restrictions lifted. Beginning scan. Scanning bridges. Weapons restrictions lifted.
Hey Sam, I see you're coming up on Lake Knot. Stay strong. We're all rooting for you to finish the job and come home safe. By the way, I've made more progress in a certain investigation. It seems that Clifford Unger willingly put his own child in the care of the scientists conducting the BB experiments. But he did so completely unaware of their true intentions. This is pure speculation, but I think when Cliff found out about their plans, he attempted to reclaim custody. And after he failed, the BB remained in the program's care. In which case, he would have every reason to bear a grudge towards the president, the woman who allowed it all to happen, don't you think? But just because President Strand is dead, doesn't mean his hate died with her. No, I think he redirected it towards Bridges. Towards you and Amelie and anyone close to the director. And now that hate is driving him to set in motion the last Stranding, to bring an end to the world as we know it. Why else would Cliff hold Amelie hostage on the beach? He must know that she's an EE. There's no time to lose. You have to save her and the director. Though I still don't understand how he managed to travel to her beach in the first place. There must be more to their relationship. I'll see what I can find. Got a moment, Sam? It's about the director. So there's no way he could have made the jump to Amelie's beach if they didn't share a strong personal connection, right? Well, I looked, and I couldn't see one. The network should have contained something, anything, but there was nothing whatsoever. His entire life prior to his tenure with Bridges has been redacted. His name, his past, everything. There's no telling who he was. Which led me to consider another possibility. What if it isn't the director and Amelie who have a connection, but the director and Clifford Unger? And what if that connection is what facilitated the director's jump to Amelie's beach? If it's those two who have a personal history, then it might explain why Cliff is holding the director hostage as well. But even if that was the case, it doesn't answer the bigger question. How the hell did the two of them end up on Amelie's beach?
Communications established. Chiral printer is now operational.
Let's go. There we go.
Well, would you look at this? Thank you so much, Sam. Ah, what's this? Something for the director? Pity he's not around to accept it. I'll hold on to it for safekeeping. Allow me to thank you on his behalf.
You're a saint, Sam. Thank you.
I say, I don't know what I did to deserve such kindness.
You don't know how long I've wanted this. Thank you.
Sam, Hartman here. There's something else I'd like you to consider. A guess, albeit an educated one, concerning Cliff's objective. Somehow, with the aid of the chiral network, our individual beaches have begun to coalesce, resulting in the formation of a single massive seam. Should this process continue, there is a risk that BTs will flood across into our world, bringing about a death stranding on a heretofore unprecedented scale. Now, Clifford Unger's battlefields and my own beach appear to be unaffected by this phenomenon, existing entirely in isolation. They do not and have never intersected with others. But what if there were another class of beach, one that exists on a higher plane, that was responsible for setting this process in motion? And what if the beach in question were none other than Anomalies? Cliff may have summoned the director, but I believe his true aim was to seize control of Anomalies Beach, to exploit its power over every other beach, and trigger the last stranding. It's the only rational explanation of Cliff's actions, which is why you have to stop him.
If Hartman's right, then we're in serious trouble. Using the chiral network in Anomalies Beach to trigger the last stranding? That's why Higgs went after Amelie, wasn't it? If it was Cliff who put him up to it. Yeah, it all fits. With the last stranding, he'll finally have his revenge against the world that stole his life and his child. You've got to stop him, Sam. You've got to make the jump to Amelie's Beach as soon as possible. Get in and get her back. It's our only hope. If you can't, then we're all doomed.
make the same mistake. Be yourself. Be free. Captain, I need you to hand it over.
Shoot him, John. Shoot him! I gave you an order. Shoot him!